and I want to make sure that I could just do better. And we're all works in progress.
How do you do that?
Prayer.
With the prayer.
Guided meditation.
Joy Behar started mocking Mark Wahlberg and Jonathan Roumie after they shared their beliefs on the show, which ultimately led the program's producers to cancel it.
Oh, already?
Oh, too quick.
Somebody was asking a lot of questions.
That's why you won't want to miss today's video. Hit the subscribe button and let's go.
Now, Mark, you've been very open about your faith, and there was a point in your career to where it shifted and you became very vocal and spoke about being in the world of Hollywood and how hard it can be to stand firm in your beliefs. What was that like for you, and what advice do you have for people, young adults who feel like they don't fit in, maybe because of their faith, and they're ashamed to voice it?
Well, I don't think you should be ashamed to voice who you are and what your beliefs are, for sure. But I also don't.
In a world where it's not cool.
Well, it really depends on what world you're in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I live in Nevada now, and the church is packed with people, and nobody wears masks, and people are kind of singing together and hugging and sharing. When they offer a peace offering to each other, they're hugging and shaking hands. But really, it just depends. I never wanted to deny it. I never wanted to kind of jam it down anybody's.
Making that distinction is important. In Hollywood, celebrities who openly identify as agnostics or atheists rarely stay silent, yet there's often an unspoken pressure to downplay or avoid discussing religion. For instance, in his 2014 Oscar speech, Matthew McConaughey mentioned how some in the audience didn't applaud when he referenced God, reflecting the kind of environment we're talking about. Beyond that, certain artists even ridicule those who express their faith publicly, and Joy Behar certainly fits.
People just started asking me, what works for you? What do you kind of credit your success? And I was like, well, I've been very fortunate. I grew up in the real world. I got into a lot of trouble when I was younger. It's a very pivotal, there was pivotal times in my life where people came to me and expressed the importance of faith to keep me on the right track. And that kind of discipline has afforded me now so many wonderful things that I want to share that with people. And I certainly want to help kids avoid making the same mistakes that I made when I was younger. And, it's...
What was the worst thing you did?
Well,
you know what? I'm not going to let you
that's a long list. But
I know, but
you asked her
the worst thing that I did was probably follow others when I should have been more of a leader. But that's very, very difficult to do at a young age when you're easily influenced and in a bad area. So, but my job is to definitely continue to encourage other people to stand up for themselves and to stand up for the right thing, and to make sure that people are trying to be the best versions of themselves.
Joy Behar comes from a Christian background, even though Whoopi Goldberg's involvement at times seems unexpected. Raised Catholic, Joy now identifies as agnostic and speaks about it openly, once admitting in an interview, "I never gave my daughter any religion because I felt that I was brainwashed." On The View, she occasionally crossed the line, for example, when she remarked, "It's one thing to talk to Jesus," while Mike Pence was present adding, "When Jesus speaks to you, it's really different. We call that mental sickness," a comment she later expressed regret over. At that moment, Whoopi was likely trying to step in to prevent the situation from escalating, but Joy...
Constantly trying to do more and be better.
Yeah.
I think that for me is the key. But, if you're a work in progress like myself, it's always about first of all, I get on my hands and my knees, express my gratitude, and then I ask for the ability to know what the right thing is and to do it. I know I've been put in this position for a reason, and I want to fulfill the purpose that God has chosen for me. And I want to make sure that I can just do better. And, we're all works in progress.
How do you do that?
Prayer.
With the prayer.
Guided meditations.
What if you don't pray?
Now's a good time to start.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You must have somebody pray for you.
Have someone pray for me?
Absolutely.
You do it.
I'll add you to my prayers. Absolutely.
For their steadfast faith, Jonathan and Mark truly deserve recognition. You could sense the panel's discomfort, a rarity even during the most delicate political discussions, especially as the debate was clearly being steered in an uncomfortable direction. Perhaps this was intentional, since people are naturally hesitant to engage in topics they find awkward or unsuitable. This is precisely how narratives evolve over time. Yet Jonathan raised a particularly compelling point when he spoke about the importance of prayer. Remarkably, after years of wandering, more young men are now beginning to return to Jesus, reflecting a
Always question about prayer. What if you don't pray? Well, prayer can be as simple as just expressing gratitude.
Like,
Yeah.
thank you for allowing me to wake up today. Like,
I do that every
yeah,
day.
yeah.
And I also think more women are craving men who have a faith-based belief, because it leads to more safety, in my opinion.
And I think that, you know, when men can kind of stand firm in truth and be grounded in their values and the things that they believe and stand for good, I think that's ultimately
Super hot?
better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very active.
Agreed,
Jesus. Agreed.
Hold on a second. Let's not go down that road again.
The reactions were downright absurd when a clip of Jonathan exercising aired during his latest appearance on The View. Despite his repeated insistence that he is merely an actor and that viewers shouldn't conflate him with the real Jesus just because he portrayed him in a series, the hosts mocked him, dubbing him Hot Jesus. The division on the panel was unmistakable. While some at least acknowledged the validity of what Mark and Romy were saying, two co-hosts openly ridiculed Christianity. Sonny, who publicly identifies as Catholic, remained conspicuously silent. Oddly enough, the producers cut the discussion short before a particularly relevant question could
Jonathan, you do such an excellent job playing Jesus in the series The Chosen. Sometimes people think you might actually be closer to him than you want to say. But because we've talked about it at the table. You're an actor, and now you're acting in a new rom-com, which I saw, which is fantastic. How is it? I think I'm trying to ask you what it's like for you to be able to now go and express this other part of your acting skill.
You know, for me, before I ever did The Chosen, a lot of the small guest star roles that I did on TV were predominantly comedic. Like for instance, in Solo Mio, like, it wasn't a faith-based film by any stretch, but I'm like, you know, I want to have a representation of who I am in the character somehow. And so I chose to have my character Neil wearing a crucifix, because you don't see that in movies or television shows generally ever. Like, but people wear crucifixes.
Yeah.
But in the movies, for some reason, you only see them like if it's a priest or if it's a pastor or a religious character. Like, no, let's just reflect real people that you can see walking down the street anywhere. So.
Oh, already?
Oh.
Whoopi raised a thoughtful question that many viewers may not have considered. First, when was the last time a major studio cast an actor in a serious religious role? Such instances are rare, likely countable on one hand. Jonathan made a compelling point in response. Today, it's uncommon to see actors wearing crosses or openly expressing their faith in mainstream films, unless it's in a deliberate throwback like an episode of The Exorcist. While opinions vary, the prevailing explanation points to a more secular culture and changing demographics, with an apparent effort to reduce the visibility or significance of faith. Once again, gratitude is due to Mark and Jonathan for ensuring Joy didn't dominate the discussion.